New iPhones, iPads, Apple Watch, lots of gorgeous drone shots, and some vague claims and figures.
It's the fastest CPU in any smartphone, up to 50% faster than the leading competition.
Last week's September 14th Apple event was mostly incremental rather than jaw-dropping or revolutionary. Yes, I know I'm late to the party regarding this. Reviews for the iPhones have already started popping up, but I still want to talk about it. Let's begin with the last reveal of the event, the iPhone 13. We see the obligatory upgrade with the processor, a smaller notch, and a diagonal lens layout rather than the linear one in the iPhone 12. There are unfortunately no features that users have requested for a while, such as an always-on display or a Type-C port. However, a recent article suggested that the EU might urge manufacturers to use Type-C as a standardized port to reduce e-waste. It still sticks with Face ID instead of including Touch ID in the power button, which is an oversight considering the inconvenience when unlocking with a mask on. The base iPhones also have the same amount of RAM like its predecessors. Of course, there are some changes. The obvious one is the new hexa-core A15 chip paired with a quad-core GPU. It is bizarre that the iPhone 12 had a 64GB base model at this price in 2020, but finally, the next generation starts off at 128GB. The 12-megapixel rear camera consists of a wide and an ultra-wide lens, the former having an aperture of f1.6 while it is f2.4 for the latter. There are no telephoto lenses here, those are available solely on the Pro models, but sensor shift optical image stabilization has been carried over from last year's 12 Pro. The cinematic mode definitely piqued my interest. It gives you the ability to simulate rack focus, and the depth of it can also be changed after you finish recording. It seemed a bit janky during the presentation, but it would be great to see this refined and perfected over time. Another addition was photographic styles that lets you customize the look of your picture in real time without affecting details such as skin tones. It is unfortunately limited to only 4 styles for now. They claim that the battery life has increased by 1.5 hours for the mini and 2.5 hours for the standard, but Apple never officially reveals the battery capacity. Apparently, there's a 9% increase in the capacity for the 13 mini and 15% for the 13. However, the iPhones are still behind Android flagships in terms of fast charging, sticking with 20 watts from the iPhone 12. Continuing with previous year's traditions, the charging brick won't be provided in the box, and the phones are compatible with MagSafe chargers. The iPhone 13 and the mini come in red, starlight, midnight, blue, and pink. Prices for the iPhone 13 mini starts at a hefty 69,900 rupees for the 128GB model, and it goes all the way up to 99,900 rupees for 512GB of storage. The iPhone 13 costs 10,000 rupees more for the respective storage options. Moving over to the Pro models, the inclusion of a 120Hz ProMotion display is a notable improvement over the previous generation, increasing fluidity during day-to-day tasks and gaming. While this contains the same A15 chip from the non-Pro models, it consists of an extra GPU core. We'll have to see how much of a difference it makes in terms of benchmarks. The aperture of the wide and ultra-wide cameras have been increased, while there's a decrease in the aperture for the telephoto lens. However, the focal length has been amplified for the telephoto, bumping it from 52mm to 78mm. Other Pro exclusive camera features include the availability of night mode for all 3 lenses, macro photography using the ultra-wide lens, and ProRes recording at up to 4K at 30 frames per second coming later this year. As expected, all these come at a steep price, 1,19,900 rupees for the 128GB Pro and 1,29,900 rupees for the Pro Max. You can go all the way up to a crazy 1TB option, costing more than 1.7 lakhs. Colors include graphite, gold, silver, and my favorite out of the bunch, Sierra Blue. Let's move on to the iPads. The iPad mini makes a much needed leap from the A12 to the A15 chip with the 5-core GPU as seen on the iPhone 13 Pro. The design also sees a drastic but expected change with smaller bezels as seen on the iPad Air. The new Liquid Retina display retains the same pixel density as the previous generation while seeing an increase in size by 0.4 inches without sacrificing anything in terms of overall dimensions. The camera setup is similar to the iPad Air while having some additional features too. The 12 megapixel wide lens in the rear allows for 4K recording up to 60 frames per second and slow motion video up to 240 frames per second. The 12 megapixel ultrawide at the front is an upgrade even when compared to the Air's 7 megapixel FaceTime HD camera. Features such as center stage that uses machine learning to adjust the front facing camera during FaceTime video calls and 2x zoom out make its way onto the Mini. It now supports the second generation Apple Pencil, which attaches magnetically to the device for wireless charging and pairing, and finally gets a Type-C port. At this price, I feel the iPad mini should have started at 128GB, but they're only limited to the 64GB and 256GB versions. Now entering its 9th iteration, the standard iPad comes with an A13 chip, which was used in the iPhone 11 and 2020 SE. Apple has thankfully gotten rid of the white bezels from the silver option, and the storage size of the base model has been doubled. It retains the old school iPad look and still comes with a 10.2-inch unlaminated display, though True Tone has been added this year. There is no Bluetooth 5 or a Type-C connector either. However, the front camera has received a much needed update, bumping it from the ancient 1.2 megapixel FaceTime HD camera to a 12 megapixel ultra-wide as seen on the iPad mini. That means features such as center stage and 1080p recording make its way onto the 9th gen iPad. The rear camera remains unchanged, resulting in the lack of 4K recording this year as well. This iPad starts at 30,900 rupees for the 64GB Wi-Fi only model and goes all the way up to 56,900 rupees for the 256GB Wi-Fi and cellular model. Considering that the base iPad has a few features that are present in the Mini and the Air, it is a great deal if you need a robust and reliable tablet. Finally, we come to the smaller upgrades. The Apple Watch Series 7 now has a more curved and crack-resistant screen with thinner bezels, an IP6 dust resistance certification, and a WR50 water resistance rating, which means that it can be used while swimming in a pool or an ocean while not being ideal for scuba diving or water skiing. It also has faster charging with the included Type-C charger. The watchOS 8 has numerous features catered towards bike riders. It has fall detection, auto pause and resume when a cyclist has to stop, and has an updated cycling workout algorithm that evaluates GPS and heart rates to better determine when users are riding with pedal assist or pure leg power on e-bikes. Apple Fitness Plus, the company's monthly fitness subscription built around the Apple Watch, now includes guided meditation, winter sports inspired workouts, and group workouts with share play, where up to 32 users can work out at once and track each other's progress. As mentioned at the beginning of this video, despite the grandeur of the event, all of these upgrades and announcements were incremental. The iPhone 13 is essentially an iPhone 12s. The updates for the 9th gen iPad and Apple Watch were slight bumps as well. That being said, there were features such as the cinematic mode that grabbed my attention. Also, changes to the iPad mini were relatively substantial when compared to the other launches in this event. Overall, there wasn't a lot to get excited about, and people were already getting hyped about the leaks around the iPhone 14 even before the 13 was announced. Do let me know in the comments if there were any announcements or product reveals that got you hyped or even disappointed, and if you're looking forward to purchasing one of the unveiled devices. Thank you so much for watching.